So I've made a few videos about sewing custom hoodies, but I've never shown you guys how to actually make one, and that's what we're doing today. Today I'm sewing a hoodie with this graphic and some extra fabric. I've broken it down into 5 easy steps. Make sure you stick around to the end to see how it turns out, plus some bonus steps in case you're planning on making one for yourself. The first step to making anything is knowing what you're gonna make. For this, you can go on Instagram and search up reworked hoodies, or look at some of the ones I've made for inspiration. For this hoodie, I'm using this Planet Hollywood muscle shirt that I picked up at the thrift store. As far as materials go, you'll need the materials for your hoodie. You'll need fabric, scissors, chalk or pencil, pins, thread, sewing machine. A fabric cutter helps a lot too. And with that, let's move on to step 2. Alright, now we got our designs locked in. Step 2 is tracing. This is how we're gonna plan our cuts and start to bring this hoodie to life. So for me, I'm gonna start with tracing out this Planet Hollywood graphic. This is because it's the lowest overall layer in my hoodie's design. Again, my design has curved edges all around, so I'm gonna take my chalk and I'm gonna trace those out onto the shirt before I start cutting. And because it's chalk, it will wipe off easily, so don't be afraid to make mistakes or go back over sections that you don't quite like. Alright, now we've traced out our design, we're on to step 3, which is cutting the fabric. We're gonna go back and trace some more stuff later, but first we gotta cut out this design so we can trace it on top of here. So what you're gonna do is take your fabric cutter or scissors and cut whatever you just traced out. Alright, just finished cutting this out. We're going to repeat steps 2 and 3 a few more times with these colors of fabric, and then we'll be ready to move on to step 4. So let's go. And we're on to step 4, which is pinning. This is where we're going to take the fabric and pin it together before we start to sew. So now that you have all your stuff cut out, you just line it up and pin the fabric in place.
TreeTime.
Alright, we just finished pinning together the first 2 layers of fabric, and that means it's time to move on to step 5, which is where we start to sew. Alright, so I just finished up sewing the first 2 pieces together. Now I'm going to repeat steps 4 and 5 a few more times, and then we'll have our end result. Alright, so yesterday I finished sewing the main graphic together along with a few different pieces that are going to go on the sleeves and other areas of the hoodie to match the general design. I'm going to flip the hoodie inside out and then start pinning in the graphic that way. If you're sewing a hoodie where the graphic is on the outside of the hoodie, then you're not going to want to do that. So just use a little bit of common sense. And with that, let's finish up the hoodie today. Alright, the sewing is done. Now we just have to cut out those final panels and we can see the final design. So let's get going. So, if you followed those 5 steps and didn't screw up, you should end up with something like this. So, whether you plan on making a hoodie for yourself or you're just watching for some entertainment, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can watch another one of my videos here. If you have any questions about sewing, my Instagram is down in the description, so shoot me a DM, and thanks for watching.